Takadosh Boker Or, Bekiim Halacha 6, day 21, page 59. Yeah, and it says as follows in Halacha Vav. Remember, this is Siman Kuf Samechet 158. It says as follows: Hanotel Yadav Leperot. Imagine a person comes and he does Netillat Yadayim for fruits. Harei ze migase aruach. That is somebody that is haughty. Okay, it's arrogance. It says here, kezayit. It says why? לפי שנוטל את השם להראות את עצמו שהוא מדקדק ומצוא יותר מכל אדם. וזהו יוהר וגסות הרוח. So now כאילו he's showing that he's better than everybody else. He says, oh, I don't understand. You know, you're coming, you're saying Netilat Yadayim, you're making a bracha. What's going on? So because of that, it's gasut haruach. Omnam im hayu perot retuvim, but if they were liquid, it was moist, right? Then it's going to be chayav benetilah. Why? Because davar shetivu lo b'mashke. And then you're obligated to. So it all depends what it is. Here it says in the footnote, what happens if you're going to wash your hands just because they're not clean? I mean, you're not doing Netilat Yadayim because of seudah. You're just your hands are dirty, so you're gonna wash your hands and then you're gonna have fruit. So look in the footnote number 8. It says that Rama explained that it is an act of conceit only if he washes his hand in the same manner when performing Netilat Yadayim. But it's permissible to wash one's hand in a different manner in order to make sure that they're clean. And therefore the Mishabra ruled that one must rinse his hands without pouring the water onto them from a utensil, right? And see more details. Meaning, don't use a keli. If you're going to come and you're going to use a keli, what does it look like? It looks like you're doing something, like weird. Like, what are you doing? You're having a fruit. The fruit's dry. Like, what are you? What's going on? So therefore, obviously, you do it without a keli. Just on your why? Your hands are dirty, so that's fine. You're not allowed to do Netilat Yadayim like a normal fashion. You're not allowed to do it with a beracha, obviously. Okay. Next, halacha zayin. Okay. חיוב נטילת ידיים הוא בין על האנשים ובין על נשים. זאת אומרת, נטילת ידיים is for everybody, men and women. ובעוונות הרבים יש כמה נשים שאוכלות בלא נטילת ידיים. There are some women that they eat without נטילת ידיים, ואין מרגישו בחטא. They don't even realize that they're making עבירה. זה נעשה להם כתר, because they think כאילו it's מותר. ויש חושבים כיוון הם יודעים לברך ברכת, or they think that since they don't know how to make ברכת המזון, so also they don't know how to do נטילת ידיים. And it's nothing to do with one another. You have to realize about your family, what they're doing. You have to teach them the stringency of the concept. Tamid, right? And you have to come and always warn them in order to do it. Okay? So that is going to be the first halacha. Second halacha is going to be the halacha number chet. יחנך אדם את ילדיו הקטנים לנטילת ידיים, אף על פי שלא באו לכלל חיוב, כדי שירגילו בכך מקטנותם. Remember the gil of chinuch. By the way, I didn't prepare. Right? I just saw it now. Which means that a person has to educate their children when they're young to do netilat yadayim, even though they don't have that chovah. Right? I remember there was a famous story of a guy that he came and he wanted to find out why his children were not going on the path of Torah and Yirat Shamayim. So what happened was that he had a little tiny boy, and the little tiny boy came, right, and he was running around. They said, okay, fine. Comes in Netilat Yadayim. He comes and he wants the rabbi comes and he starts trying to tell the boy, no, Netilat Yadayim. The father comes and he says, Adoni, he's a young boy. Doesn't matter. He started with the left hand. He did half. He did twice. He's a little boy. It's not important. Just big deal. He's a child. Okay, fine. So the rabbi, keeps quiet. Okay, fine. They come to the table. The child continues running around. Finally, the child comes and he breaks something, right? And all of a sudden, the father goes crazy, ballistic. I told you to. So the rabbi comes and he says, Adoni, he's a little child. He's this. He's that. Why are you? It's not important.
You feed him.
Yeah. What happens? The rabbi was showing him, teaching him the lesson. Tell me what you get upset about, and I'm going to tell you what's important to you. Right? If right now you're going to tell me the Netilat Yadayim you didn't care, so if you're going to be like that across the board, that's one thing. But if it's going to be everything else, no. You have to educate the children. The education of the children, very important. Okay? Halacha number tet. Haonen.
Don't worry.
Yeah. Haonen tzarich lentilat yadayim kedat belo bracha. If somebody's an onen, what is an onen? Somebody, right? I said onen, right? Not onen. Yeah, somebody is an onen. And what happens is that they have to eat bread. If they're going to eat bread, he does netilat yadayim without a beracha. He's not allowed to do a beracha, but he's still obligated netilat yadayim. So that's what we just said here. Yeah? Why? Leta di isura david mishum srach truma. It has to do with the srach truma. It has nothing to do with the beracha. He's not allowed to make brachot, so he doesn't do brachot. He's not, but he still has to do netilat yadayim. So that's the netilat yadayim he still has to do. Look in the footnote number 9, where he says that Rishon LeZion explained this halacha in Chazon Ovadia, Although an onen may eat food without making brachot, he may not eat bread without Netillat Yadayim. Why? The brachot is a mitzvah from our chachamim, and therefore the onen is exempt from all of those mitzvot. Eating bread without Netillat Yadayim, though, is a negative commandment. It's like somebody that you come and you tell me, for example, a person that's, let's say he's blind or deaf mute, right? You're going to say he's patur mikol mitzvot. Is he allowed to do all the averot in the Torah? No, he's not obligated in mitzvot. But it's not that he's patur from all the averot, meaning that there's averot and mitzvot. The Netillat Yadayim is like an averah, because since it's a letter of a srach truma of doraita, so it's like an averah. So it's a different halacha. So to do Netillat Yadayim, he's obligated. To do the bracha al Netillat Yadayim, he's not obligated. Okay, that's to do with onen. Everything was truma. Truma is doraita, correct? So when the kohen, exactly, but that's doraita. The kohen is eating truma doraita. No. That was the Rabbanan. But since it's a srach truma comes, it becomes from a deraita. So therefore, that's why it's like an avera basically. It's not a positive commandment. Okay. Halacha number 10. Yod. Imagine a person right now is in the midbar or in a place of sakana. He doesn't have any water. He's patur from Netillat Yadayim. Right, a meal yasigem amayim. What happens if he could travel a meal? Remember, a meal is just under a kilometer, and he could find water. He's not obligated in going after that. Okay, so he says, but in this case, he has to put his hands in a mapa. Again, this is where it came from, the concept of that if a person cannot do Netillat Yadayim, he puts the bread in a napkin and all this, and this is where it comes from. But again, we're talking about where it's either he's in a makom sakana or in a midbar. Majority of places nowadays, you have water, and water is such an abundant, right? You're driving, you stop at a rest area, there's washrooms over there, you could do Netillat Yadayim. What's the problem? Don't do the bracha in the washroom, or you buy a bottle of water in 2 seconds, you do Netillat Yadayim. What's the problem? Exactly, you make the bracha and then you dry your hands. You just put your hands like this. Well, yeah, I'm saying if you don't have a keli, then it's the koach gavra, which means that you would have to turn it on, and it's the first shot that gets your hand. Move your hand, turn it on again, and that's a second shot, and you do that 6 times. That's a different halacha, but it's true. The ocean, yes, you could do it as well. Al Netillat Yadayim, yes, we're going to speak about it. I think.
Add sandwiches all the way up where there's no. Can you do something with the snow?
We'll speak about Shelik. We'll speak about it.
My gloves.
Yeah, we'll speak about this soon. Let's just finish very quickly the footnotes. We'll finish the footnotes. Number 10. The reason for this is likewise because it would be dangerous for the traveler to go searching for water. The Mishnah Berurah says that this case was signaled out in order to teach you that whenever you're traveling through an uninhabited area, it's considered dangerous. Okay? Again, you're in an uninhabited, it's dangerous. You don't know what you're doing, where you are. Number 11 says, the Mishnah teaches that soldiers going out to battle are not obligated to do Netillat Yadayim. The Bet Yosef comes and deduces from this that whenever someone is in a form of danger, whether it's in the wilderness or whatever it is, he could do without Netillat Yadayim. He explained the Tosafot that although Rabbi Akiva refused to eat bread without doing the Netillat Yadayim, he was imprisoned, but it wasn't that it was dangerous. So technically he was exempt from the mitzvah. The Magen Avraham commented that if someone travels through wilderness, he's exempt from the mitzvah of Netillat Yadayim, even if he knows that if he continues less than 4 meal, right, or that if it's backtracks, right, meaning forward or backwards. The forwards is going to be forwards 4 meal. 4 meal is 3.84 kilometers, or backwards, right, less than 960, right, meters. So he says, although a traveler would have to continue forward or backtrack if he's not in a place of danger, as we already explained here, since he's in a place in danger, he doesn't need to. Okay, the last one, which is going to be number 12.
The whole 2 days not dangerous.
It is. That's what we're saying. It is still dangerous. Well, it depends. Depends where you are, obviously. Oh, fine. No, but it depends where you are. I'm saying depends where you are. Yeah. The Acharonim. Yeah, the Acharonim commented that these cases are no different than when someone has no water available, and is explained in Siman 163, he should wrap his hands in a cloth while eating bread. The Matei Yehuda and the Mamam Mordechai, however, ruled that when someone is exempt from the mitzvah because of danger, he may eat it even without wrapping his hands. The Torat Chaim Sofer compromised, and he says that soldiers going out to battle are exempt from wrapping their hands, right? And he says, but nevertheless, in practice, soldiers should follow the stringent opinion if it doesn't pose any difficulty.